What would you do if the woman you loved sold her body to save your life? Femi thought he had the perfect wife until one phone call ruined everything. This is not just betrayal. It's survival. It's heartbreak. It's a question no man wants to answer. Watch till the end and ask yourself, can you ever trust again? Femi used to be the man everyone looked up to, the one people respected when he walked into a room. He owned a car dealership in Lagos. Life was good. Money flowed. He took care of his wife, Amaka, and their 2 kids. Paid the bills, bought food, paid the rent. No complaints. Femi was on top of the world. Big car, big dreams, big energy. He sold cars, made good money, and everyone trusted him. But then things changed. The economy took a hit. Sales dropped. People stopped buying cars. Femi thought it was just a phase. But months went by. The business didn't recover. And Femi, he kept watching everything fall apart. The phone stopped ringing. Customers disappeared. His savings were gone. He sold 2 cars just to pay his workers. Then he sold his generator. After that, his office chairs. But no matter how hard he tried, the business couldn't get back up. At home, things were no better. One evening, the landlord came knocking. He didn't come to talk. He came to embarrass Femi. Femi, I gave you extra time. You think this is your father's house? If I don't see my rent by Friday, pack your things and go. Femi stood there silent. His kids watched from the window. Amaka stood behind him, holding her wrapper tightly, humiliated. That night, Femi didn't eat. He sat on the couch, staring at the ceiling, wide-eyed, until morning. If the landlord broke him, what happened next shattered him completely. The kids came back from school the next day. His daughter, holding her backpack, said, "Daddy, school sent us home. They said you haven't paid their fees." Femi froze. He looked at her, then at his son. His throat tightened. He wanted to cry, but nothing came out. He just nodded and said, "Don't worry, you'll go back next week." But there was no next week. No money. No way to fix it. Femi started shutting everyone out. He avoided his friends. Turned off his phone. Even at home, he barely spoke. Every day, he sat by the window like a ghost in his own house. Amaka watched him, worried. She had never seen her husband like this, broken, defeated, ashamed. One night, she sat beside him and asked, "What do you need?" He didn't even look at her. He just whispered, "Money. I need money to get back on my feet." Amaka nodded, but inside, her heart was breaking too. Because she had nothing. Nothing but a risky offer waiting outside. Subscribing makes you awesome. The challenge is if you can hit the subscribe button with your nose. Try it. If you achieve that, drop a bozar in the comments. Amaka knew she had to do something. She found an empty space next to their house and turned it into a small salon. At first, people laughed. Why is the wife of a rich man doing this kind of work? But she didn't care. She worked hard, braiding hair, fixing nails, and even giving haircuts. Soon, men started coming to her salon. Some for haircuts, some for something else. And then, the offers started coming. One night, after the kids went to sleep, Amaka couldn't rest. Femi was lying on the couch again, pretending to sleep. She knew he wasn't. She couldn't sleep either. Her mind was spinning. She thought about the kids missing school. She thought about the landlord's angry voice, loud and threatening. And then she thought about Femi, the man she once knew, proud, strong, and now broken. But there was someone else in her mind too. Mr. Kohler. He came to her salon often, always generous with tips, always smiling. But he didn't hide what he wanted. "Amaka, you're too beautiful to suffer," he told her one day. "I can give you 500,000 naira today." Just one night. At first, Amaka laughed it off. But now, with everything falling apart, that one night started to sound like the only solution. Amaka walked into the kitchen and opened the cupboard. Only one pack of noodles was left. She opened the fridge. Just water and a single tomato. She went to check on the kids. They were asleep. Her son had his school shoes under his pillow. She couldn't hold it in anymore. Tears rolled down her face, but she didn't make a sound. She didn't want Femi to hear her. That night, she picked up her phone and stared at Mr. Kohler's number. Her hands shook. Her stomach twisted. She thought about Femi's voice from just hours ago. "Please, any amount. I just need something to rise again." Amaka washed her face. She stared at herself in the mirror. Her hair was rough. Her wrapper had a tear. Her eyes looked older, weaker, but still, she made the call. "Kohler," she whispered. His voice sounded bright. "Amaka, you finally called me." "I need the money," she said softly. There was a pause. "You know the condition?" he asked. Amaka hesitated, then whispered, "Yes, I know." The next morning, 500,000 naira landed in Amaka's account. She didn't smile. She didn't feel happy. She walked into the living room and dropped the phone beside Femi. "There's money in the account now," she said. "Use it." Femi looked at her, confused. "Where did you get it from?" "I borrowed it," she lied. "A customer. He trusts me." Femi didn't ask any more questions. He hugged her. "Thank you," he whispered. "You saved me." But Amaka didn't hug him back. In that moment, she felt like a stranger in her own skin. The money Amaka gave him changed everything. Femi used it to buy a small used car, a Honda Civic. He cleaned it up, sold it, and made a little profit. With that money, he bought 2 more cars. Soon, he was back at the car lot, shaking hands with old customers. His respect started to return. Even the landlord greeted him with respect now. Femi felt good again. Happy, even. He didn't know where the money came from, but he didn't ask. Every time he looked at Amaka, he felt grateful. He even told his friend once, "My wife is the real MVP. When I was down, she saved us." But peace doesn't last. Secrets always find a way to come out. One afternoon, Femi came home early. He had a short meeting that got cancelled. As he walked toward the house, he heard voices from the back. Amaka and her best friend, Ada. Femi didn't mean to listen, but when he heard his name, he stopped. Ada asked, "So you never told him the truth?" Amaka's voice was quiet. "Tell him what? That I slept with Kohler for the money he used to restart his life?" Femi's heart stopped. He couldn't breathe. His legs felt like they would give out. He didn't want to believe it, but deep down he knew it was true. That money, it wasn't a loan. It was her body, her betrayal. That night, Femi didn't say a word. He didn't eat. He didn't sleep. Amaka could feel the silence. "Are you okay?" she asked, her voice shaking. Femi turned to her slowly, his voice a whisper. "When were you going to tell me that you slept with Kohler? For that money?" Amaka's heart dropped. She stood frozen. Her hands shook. I can explain," she said softly. Femi stood up, his eyes bloodshot, his fists clenched. "You let me hug you? Thank you? Called you my savior. And all this while, you were hiding this from me?" Tears welled up in Amaka's eyes. "I did it for you, Femi. You were dying. I had no choice." Femi screamed, his voice breaking. "So you sold yourself? For me? You think I wanted that? You think I wanted my wife to become that just so I could rise again?" The kids woke up, hearing the shouting. They stood at the door, watching. Amaka broke down. She knelt and cried, begging for his forgiveness. But Femi just stood there, staring at her like a stranger. Femi slept in the car that night. He couldn't look at her. The next morning he walked around the neighborhood. People called him chairman again. They greeted him. But inside, he felt empty. He was back on his feet. But the woman who helped him destroyed him in the process. Now he was caught between two truths. She cheated, but she saved the family. She betrayed him, but she never spent a dime on herself. She used that money for rent, for food, for the kids' school fees, for him. And now Femi stood at a crossroads. Should he forgive her? Should he walk away? Should he keep the secret for the sake of the children? Or should he expose everything, even if it means breaking what's left of their home? He doesn't know. But you, watching this, what would you do if you were Femi? Would you forgive her? Would you forget? Or would you leave? Tell us in the comments. Because sometimes the person who saves you leaves a scar that never heals. Subscribing makes you awesome.